Australia Day and War Thunder, plus the new Warbond Shop vehicles have been announced. And hey, it's a new Battle Pass season. Let's take a look at what's coming your way. Good morning, I'm Old Deadman, your host. Welcome to War Thunder's website. We've got two items today that are going to be a little bit longer than normal, but don't worry, I'm going to keep this short and brief and as quick as possible. So let's get right into it. Australia Day. That's right. It was yesterday. And yesterday, all my troubles seemed so far away. Now it looks as though Australia Day is here to stay. So let's take a look. They've got just a quick deal celebrating the founding of Australia. Awesome. I think that's great. I think that that the Australian YouTubers are probably over the moon, just enjoying it. The decal, which is right here, is really awesome looking. I think that is just right. Loving it. So, nice little Australia Day event. Go and win some battles with sorry, you don't have to win them. You have to play 3 battles in British aircraft of rank 2 or higher with a battle activity of 70% or higher. So, jump in those Brit planes, get yourself a couple of rounds in there, and have some fun. Get a sweet decal. All right, let's move on to the new Warbond Shop. That's right, Firepower's got a new Warbond Shop coming. And I'm going to tell you straight up, not excited about the vehicles or the Warbond Shop this time. And that's kind of unusual for me. I'm usually find something that I am just kind of really just itching to get to. And for me, the whole Battle Pass season is really coming down to the Type 64/M64, depending on how you want to do it, which means that I only need to get to level 51 of the Warbond Shop. This is going to be a nice smooth sailing for me this time. But let's take a look, because while I'm not excited, there could be vehicles that you are excited about. And so let's talk about them. All right, as you can see, we're in War Thunder now. We've got the normal mix of things that are coming out this time. We've got some test drives of things like the USS Helena, the Type 75 MLRS, which, by the way, from everything I've seen, I think that is a meme machine. So if you're thinking of picking it up, you can at least try it out with a test drive in advance. The SU-11D, SU-11. Hey, look, a jet fighter. You can get a test drive of it. And the Mi-24P. That's a good helicopter, and it's German. It's in the German tree, after all. So if you're looking at buying those, you've got some items you can test drive just to see if they're any good for you. Normal boosters, normal camouflages, normal, pretty much normal stuff. We do have this new Shoo Shoo Baby pinup, which is kind of a cutie right there, but not my kind of thing. So just keep it in mind if you're looking for kind of a sweet little pinup. There she be. Then we get into the first set of vehicles. These are the rank 2s. So the first vehicle up is the Morane, and the Morane is a Finnish modification of the French Morane Celere MS-406, which is a Swedish rank 2 2.0 BR vehicle. This guy's pretty performant little machine for rank 2. It's got a 525 kilometer per hour top speed, an 18-second turn time, and a 16.6 meter per second climb rate. And being armed with 12.7 millimeter and two 7.5 millimeter guns, should be pretty decent against most of the light targets you've got at this BR range. I do want to point out that it is rank 2, so there's a real limit to the number of events and tasks you can do with it, as are the other ones at this point in the the Warbond Shop. But let's move on to the Crusader, the Saint. Now, the Saint here is a British rank 2 2.7 BR cruiser tank, or light tank. It's got a 40 millimeter QF 2-pounder gun with an 89 millimeter penetrating APCBC round. Now, just for reference here, I don't believe it has any explosive filler. So while for that 89 millimeters of penetration at point blank range is decent penetration for this BR, you may find it difficult to kill things. So just be prepared to do multiple shots to finish off a target. Not unusual for this BR range, but just be advised. It does have a fairly decent 43 kilometer per hour forward speed and a 7 kilometer per hour reverse. The armor, of course, is nothing to write home about. 30 millimeters on the front, 14 on the sides, and 17 on the rear. But its real saving grace is its 30.6 degrees per second turret rotation speed. That's moving. So if you're good with making those particular factors work, it's a pretty good tank for you. The next one up, and I apologize in advance to all the Italians out there who are going to listen to my butchered pronunciation, the Celere Sahariano. That's a rank 2 battle rating 2.3 vehicle, and it's got a 47mm 40 caliber Model 38 cannon with a 69mm penetrating APBC round. Now this one I think might have just a touch of explosive filler, so I suspect that if it will penetrate, it'll do a better job at killing things. But again, you're gonna have to be able to penetrate it first. Many things in this BR can be pretty easily with 69mm of pen, but there are going to be some tough nuts for you. 61 kilometer per hour forward speed, 5 kilometer per hour reverse. That's practically Russian levels of reverse speed. Its fast forward speed, though, can be really made to work for it. So if you keep yourself moving forward and constantly in motion, you'll probably find that to be a better one. None of this peekaboo stuff that you tend to find. It's got 35 millimeters of frontal armor, 15 millimeter on sides and rear. And the real downside for this one is its 11.9 degree per second turret rotation. That's pretty meh. There are worse, and the speed might mean that you can turn onto a target and get your gun on target pretty quick, but it's still pretty lousy for turret speed. And yeah, all in all, you're looking at a pretty decent little Italian tank. If you're looking to kind of get your Italian ground tree moving up, this might be the ticket for you. Overall, my feel on these three vehicles is that they're just not going to be useful for most people beyond the early stages of the game. And most people can get through these early ranks in a few hours of play. So they're not going to have long-term usefulness unless you just love playing these vehicles or have a personal tie to one of them, or even a national tie, because many people are all about what their nation gets. That said, I'm not really excited about any of them. I'd be kind of sort of excited about the Morko Morane, but it's not really just jumping out at me as a real big gotta have it. Then we've got the battle trophies with talismans, and if you get the right talisman, if it wasn't random, that'd be a lot more interesting to me. But random talismans for different classes and types of vehicles in these lower ranks. And we got some more wagers and all the normal things, camouflages, more talismans. It's not till we get up to the last page of the battle pass, the Warbond Shop. That's going to be a tough one since the two have become so intrinsically intertwined, that we get to something that might get a little bit of interest, for me at least. Now, understand all of these are rank 3 vehicles, so not a lot of... nothing really high tier this time, but there's a couple good ones here, so let's take a look. The first one up is a boat, the VSH Schell 1. Now, I missed this one when it first came out because it was an event vehicle, and I couldn't justify going after it for just a little boat like this. However, hey, in the Warbond Shop, it might be worth, if you're going to be going there anyway, to pick this up, because it is a unique bird in the War Thunder naval trees. The VSH Schell 1 is a German rank 3 coastal BR 3.0 boat. It's a German Minelayer, which is unusual. It was actually originally released as part of a test of mine laying in War Thunder to see if it could work. Not a whole lot of mines, though, so I think there's some mixed bag. It's got a 72 kilometer per hour forward speed, 22 kilometer per hour reverse, which makes it a really moving little ship. It will keep you moving in the battlefield. It is armed with 4 15mm MG151 cannons, and at this BR, those are going to be tremendously effective. And it's got 16 EMC moored contact mines. Decent little boat. If you have the play style down, you can do some serious damage with this thing. Do not believe it has a high amount of survivability. Pretty small crew, as I recall, of only 22. Still, that's better than some of the low-end boats in the early naval trees. Now let's move on over to the P-51 C-11NT, which is in the Japan rank 3 battle rating 3.7 area. This captured fighter was actually emergency landed on a Japanese-held island. They quickly painted some meatballs on it and took it back to the home islands, and then tested it against all their fighters just to see what it would, how it would perform. Now, this guy's got a pretty standard P51 specs here. We got 708 kilometer per hour top speed, a 21-second turn time, 16.2 meters per second climb, and it is armed with 4 12.7 millimeter M2 Brownings. You all know how those work, and at 3.7, they'll still be working pretty darn well with 1,260 rounds total. So if you're looking to work up your Japanese tree and you happen to really like American aircraft, this might be a good one for you to pick up. Next up, we've got in fact, the last one, the T-14 assault tank. This monster is an American rank 3 BR 4.7 heavy tank. And this guy at 4.7 is just starting to get in touch with Panthers and Tigers. It can deal with them, but it has to mostly deal with them from the flanks. But let's show you why. We got a 75 millimeter M3 cannon here with 104 millimeters of penetrating APCBC. Its ace in the hole is a 139 millimeter penetrating APCR, but APCR underperforms reliably in War Thunder. So keep that in mind. That's your emergency backup if you can't penetrate a target any other way. It does do only 38 kilometers per hour forward speed and a definitely Soviet-like 5 kilometer per hour reverse. So you're not going to be moving fast, but it's faster than many heavy tanks at its BR. Its armor is heavily sloped in most places, which gives its relatively small numbers extreme effectiveness for its BR. If you're not up-tiered fully, you've pretty much almost impenetrable from the front. It's 50 millimeters on the front, on the hull, 63 millimeter on the sides, and 50 millimeters on the rear, with a turret of 76 millimeters on the front, 101 millimeters on the sides, and of course also on the rear. It's got a decent turret rotation speed as well of 20.4 degrees per second. I've played this one. I've got it. I actually do enjoy it, and as long as you're not fully up-tiered, you're pretty well. You've got the Jumbo Sherman experience in a lower BR. That said, you do have challenges, so it's enjoyable. As long as you're not fully up-tiered, you're pretty much in just hog heaven. And when you are fully up-tiered, you still have ways to deal with your enemies. And that's really pretty much everything that we've got. We do end up with these 2 talisman boxes for top tier, well, rank 5, not quite top tier, tank and air vehicles. But overall, I think that's everything in the Battle Pass. Got me again. Warbond Shop that should keep your attention for this time. Myself, this is going to make it relatively easy to not be too terribly concerned. So I've got a nice calm couple of months here from as far as Warbond Shop looks. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed and want to know more news items like this, give me a thumbs up. And hey, happy Australia Day as of yesterday for our Australians down there. You have a great rest of your day, and we will see you in War Thunder.